This next speaker will present her work pairing open source intelligence and AI methodologies in journalism. She has built 2 tools for journalists to help with research, which she will demo for us. Please welcome Digital Project Manager and Open Source Intelligence Journalist at DR Danmarks Radio, Aida Kokanovic.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to stand here today and be talking about how generative AI can enhance open source research. And just to clarify, when you hear me say open source research or you hear me say OSINT, I mean the vast ecosystem of openly available methodologies and tools to gather also open source data. So yeah, my name is Aida Kokanovic. I work as a journalist and digital project manager at DR. I mostly sit at the investigative desk, but also in the AI hub. I also teach OSINT and AI to journalists and journalist students. Today I'll be showing you 2 tools. One of them is a timeline machine, which can generate timelines automatically, and the other one is a generative platform for journalists called Nebula. So for the timeline machine, why do we need it at all? So I bet every journalist, they sift through reports, they look for information in FOIA requests and every other text-based information in PDF form. And with lengths from a couple of pages to hundreds of pages and also thousands. And some of us enjoy that process, but for the most of us, this task is very time and energy consuming. Just to see how we have automated this in DR, I will showcase one recent use case. Mostly we use this for the FOIA request, but I will show it with the use case of Nordic Waste. And this is the biggest environmental disaster in Denmark in the recent time. And when the municipality released a document regarding the company involved in this disaster, it was quite a mess. There was more than 60,000 pages to go through. They were scattered all over the place at their website. Dates were not arranged, and it was a hell. And we had a handful of journalists working on this, and every other media outlet was also covering this story. So there was a lot of at stake. We put it into the timeline machine, and what was happening, as you see, the first thing it is doing, it is searching for the date. So when it locates the date, it is searching for the date again. And this is a section, which is, and then it is segmentizing the whole PDF, the whole documents in this kind of meta. And what it's doing then, it is typing these segmentation, these sections, putting them into the chronological order. So you now have a date PDF that you can read in whatever way you want. And another thing that is happening there is also these sections are sent to OpenAI to create and generate a summary. So what you have is, instead of all of these scattered documents now, you have 2 documents. You have one which is the chronological order PDF with all these pages, and then you have also this XL where you have dates and document name and also the summary. And this gives a great overview for journalists to work on the case and to collaborate with it as well. This is the interface of the timeline machine. As you can see, it is very simple in its appearance. You just choose your document, and then you can choose whether you want the summary or not. And then you can choose if you want the date arranged with the elders first. And then you just push on the biggest button on the app. And voila, you have your product. So before some of you might think that interface could be better or begin to think about critically about it, this is the alternative that journalists would have. And in my experience, myself, I consider myself very technical. I love everything technical, but many journalists do not consider themselves as highly technical with the technical skills. So we want to make it as easy and as simple interface as possible. So the benefits, they are multiple. I have just listed some of them. What we are looking ahead now is to also make it more interactive for the journalist, for them to be able to get the summarization as I have demonstrated, but also to have more focused search in the documents so they can maybe have an angle or whatever they have next to it. The next I will talk about Nebula. Nebula is a platform which I made as a part of a journalistic innovation course at Roskilde University. And why did I do that? Well, when I was teaching OSINT to journalist at Fyns Stiftstidende and TV2 documentary as a part of my master's thesis. Me and my colleague, we were demonstrating these great tools and they were adapting them. They could really see how this could enhance their current stories and also how it also could create new stories, because some places they never even had looked at. Many journalists, especially those day-to-day journalists, actually created their own data sets by using this simple scraping methods and created a new story as well. But something weird happened, because every time we were there and we were able to assist them, we were able to observe them and help them, they were very active in the usage. But every time we turned around and left, they went to their traditional ways. And we were like, what is happening? Because one of the journalists that was there, she was searching for her story in a traditional manner, as she was socialized by the media outlet. She was searching for a case for her story, and she was waiting for this case for days now, because she was relying on a post that she posted on Facebook for people to get back to her. And we show her a way, we show her some tools, how she could get the case herself, and within a minute she got multiple cases. And just the look on her face when she knew she could now enrich her story with a very relatable element for her readers. Priceless. So we asked them, so why are you not using this? What is going on in here? And this is what we are discovering in our master thesis, and I could talk about that for an hour. But right now I just want this one quote. They said like, okay, so I don't have time to go and search for the right tool, learn the tool, and then figure out how to implement this in my own workflow. It's just too much. And I get it, I understand. It is a jungle, and if you don't have the experience, oh my God, it's safer and better just to stick with what you know. I get it. So this is why I actually made Nebula. It's for every journalist to have the ability to have their own OSINT expert next to them. And as you can see, it's also very simple in its interface. It has on the left categories with the tools, and on the right it has the main text area. And when you click on a category, a list of tools will pop up. And when you click on a tool, it will explain what is it used for and how to use it. And then you also have your text input area, of course. And as you see, the Nebula is capable of tackling all of these regular, I would say, tasks from journalism regarding articles and feedbacks and creating interviews and so. But for now, I will focus on the research part and showcase a few examples. To be able to give you a little context regarding this, I want to tell you about a story I was working on. So last year, I was working on a cross-border story. We were investigating human trafficking in prostitution from online recruitment of Eastern women to Western country. And how did we locate this possibility of investigating this? Where was the data from? Well, it was from a very talented journalist, Anne Scanning. She located this data during her previous research, which took around a year. So it took her a research by itself, a story, plus this amount of time to locate this kind of data. So let's just pretend that we are not aware of this, and let's see what Nebula would do if I just had the interest of just exploring the subject human trafficking. Of course, you can insert whatever if you have some kind of ideas, if you have some data, it will also try to generate some ideas. And this is an idea generating tool. So what it does here, it is delivering some possible angles, how to explore this, it is still very abstract at this point, but if we are to scroll down, it is asking you which of these are the most interesting for you, and then it will iterate with you to make it more focused and approachable. And if you look at the number 4, where it says decoding online advertisement for human trafficking, this is exactly what we did. The advertisements look like this. Now I have take this one just to show what we had to deal with. So I'm not implying that this is linked to any human trafficking, but it is similar to what we have discovered, because they are promising everything for those women, amongst it high earnings, as you can see here, which they cannot deliver upon when they reach the country. I'm thinking we had as you see the data points that we have, and we had hundreds of thousands of those kind of recruitment ads. So the data point that we have, it was a username, and then we had phone number and emails. And these phone numbers and emails, it's burner phone numbers and emails. So they are switching the phone numbers all the time. So how can you take care and look for this? So let's see what Nebula would do. Nebula, now we are using the open source tool, and what Nebula is doing, the first is creating the scope. So you want to identify the individuals, you want to map the network, because we are looking for criminal networks. And if you scroll a bit down, it is creating a framework for you. At the first one with the data collection, you see it is also giving possible tools to use and the method. And if you you look at the number 3, it is kind of suggesting something about a video. And this is because it is a feature that I integrated in Nebula for all of us visual learners. So not only you get the how to do it if you are a visual learner, you can also benefit from the video of how to do it. And this video, this is something I have selected that they are explaining the methodology and the tooling at use with all of those that are already validated, that are ready to go. So from information, you can sense that Nebula has a custom data pool that I have inserted to it. So this is the place that it looks first. And then it also, of course, takes advantage of the knowledge with its core base. The type, it was text-based and a video that you can get out. And for me, my mission is to democratize OSINT with the tools. And even though it is open source, it is not available for everybody because of the technical barrier. As I said before, journalists, they tend to take much pride in the traditional ways of doing it. But I must say, for me, I am so truly happy that we have generative AI right now so that we can use technology to break down the technological barrier. Thank you.